You won't need much hardwood, so you don't have to go buying a whole lot. I use polyethylene because that's what I managed to find. 4-color pens are the cheapest way to get plenty of springs. Any nails will do, so long as they are 2.8 millimeters thick. The hinge must be no wider than 35 millimeters. Order rubber bands online if you can't find them in stores like Officeworks. All parts are numbered and color-coded so you can match the individual part from the tutorial to the blueprint. Once cut, tape the blueprint together along the purple line. Standard paper will do. You only need to mark the holes on P1R. MDF produces a lot of harmful dust. This project uses a great deal of MDF, so a proper gas mask is absolutely essential. Plane pieces to the face of the vise for maximum precision. I like to glue sandpaper to wooden blocks. A drill press is very helpful, but not essential. It is best to shape both P1 plates at the same time. Nail stubs stop the plates from slipping when they are shaped together. Make sure all parts and joints line up with the blueprint. Be careful with PVA glue, it tends to slip when under pressure. MDF and end grain weaken joints because they soak up glue. Apply a thin layer of glue and let it dry before applying more glue and lightly clamping the joint. I shaped P3 first, then sawed it in half to make two identical plates. This radius allows magazines to slip in easier. Wooden wedges are needed for improvised clamping jigs. Note the 45-degree angle on one edge. The magazine catch and trigger must move freely but not too loosely. The holes don't need to be deeper than 6 mm. I sawed a slab of 19mm pine in half to get two thin pieces, alternatively by 8mm thick wood. The exact position of F4 depends on the shape of the trigger. Sponge blocks are great for clamping the curved surfaces of the grips. PVA glue will hold the templates and can be washed off later. Clamp the templates to make sure they stick. This goes for all templates. Flexible plastic like nylon and polyethylene is best shaped with blades rather than abrasives. The knots must be neat and very tight. Nylon string can be melted to stop knots unraveling. Thick spacers jam the rotor. Use thin spacers cut from pop rivets, a pen, or beads, or whatever else you can find. Make adjustments before P1R is glued down. Spread the pressure with blocks of wood. You don't want glue seeping out of joins onto the moving parts. Use a square block to keep the edge of P2 in line. Don't radius the end of F11 that is attached to the hinge. Pre-drill the screw holes for the hinge. The foregrip should be easy to unfold, but not freely movable. The nail will align the foregrip assembly. Hold the join with tape and clamps. Hold the magazine catch in this position with a block. Sand down sharp edges and the base of the grip. Bevel the edges of all pins so they don't damage the wood. M6 should be made from hardwood. Only drill through many plates at a time if you have a drill press. Half the plates should have 5 holes, the other half 3 holes. Each magazine will be slightly different, so they must be fitted individually. The screw head should be flush with or just below the surface. This facet allows the magazine to slip past the magazine catch. The nail for the rotor should be a bit shorter than the magazine width. Make sure you don't run the blade over the screws. These tabs stop the rotor from moving side to side. The magazine parts may not be interchangeable, so mark them. Round edges make rubber bands last longer. Even the edge on F12 should be rounded off a tiny bit. Try to avoid planing too much off the thin tapering edge of F12. If you do this right, you won't have to fix it later. Drift out the pins rather than yanking them out with pliers. Water-based varnish raises the grain of the wood, so use oil-based. Avoid recoating the inside. This may gunk up the moving parts. Seal the outside with at least 2 thin coats to prevent stains forming over time. Use 2 rubber bands if you want.